Hi everyone, it's Dr. Nemechek of the Nemechek Navigator. This little segment is the protocol forever? Is rifaximin forever? How long do I have to do this? Kind of a long title, but if you get the gist. I like to break it down to the different components. So we've got fish oil, olive oil, something to balance the gut, and then vagal stimulation at times. So the fish oil and olive oil, we'll talk about that first. The need for these are really a reflection of the inflammatory nature of these omega-6 vegetable oils and the grains that we're feeding the livestock that we eat. And so the olive oil will be necessary for that, I think, for probably decades. We've known about this for a couple decades and they haven't done anything about it. So, and then there's a dwindling intake of omega-3s in the diet over the last century. And so the omega-3s are just necessary to kind of make up for that. And possibly they may even have a little bit of an extra, almost like anti-inflammatory drug effect. So those two things, for at least for myself personally, I envision I'll probably do those till the day I die. A long time. Hopefully a long time. Balancing the intestinal tract. Now, so we've got my thing with the birds and the fish, right? And the fish are up here. You get that. You get all sorts of inflammatory stress when you get leaky gut from that. Really bad for the brain as well as other things as you're an adult. And we're going to need something to keep this balanced, okay? We aren't even certain why it happens. We know there's gut damage, quote unquote, to the gut bacteria, but any specific way to understand it so that we could maybe even fix it, those answers might be 10 or 20 years away, quite honestly. So fortunately, the inulin works well in the little kids for a long time, and at some point you'll have to switch to rifaximin. And the rifaximin as an antibiotic is one of the few antibiotics where there is no long-term resistance to this antibiotic. And so we don't anticipate it will ever fail. It's incredibly safe and very, very well tolerated. So at some level, we're going to need something like rifaximin. Now they may invent some other thing in the next decade. I just don't know. But we're going to need something to help maintain this gut bacteria. Okay? And now, one place, so when we start rifaximin, when we get up to that point, and some kids need to be on it continuously, after about a year, we're able to go from nonstop rifaximin in those continuous kids. I'm able to back up to just 10 days a month, and the progress continues. We don't have any relapsing. So I kind of, in my mind's eye, view 10 days of rifaximin twice a day, every month, is kind of a holding pattern for the kids, even once they reach a neurotypical state, because, you know, if they're just neurotypical and you stop rifaximin, say, and there's nothing balancing the gut, they might do well for a while, but then suddenly they start relapsing, they're becoming depressed and anxious, and their, you know, academics, because their focus problems come back, and their academics suffer, not to mention just the emotional angst they go through. And so I kind of see using the rifaximin at some, maybe monthly or maybe even twice monthly. I just don't know. As we project that out, we will have to have more patience to sort that part out. But I see that as a long-term solution for us because of its durability and safety as a medication. The vagus nerve stimulation, about half of the kids I treat here need vagus nerve stimulation to kind of have this fuller, recovery. And in my adult patients where I'm treating, what I'm finding is now adults are different than kids. The kids I only treat with about 5 minutes a day of vagus nerve stimulation. The adults need about 2 hours when I'm treating them a day. And it's stimulating a little bit differently the way I do it than from the kids. But my point being is once the adults, say, recover, and however they define that, and they define it kind of differently amongst, how good do they want to get, put it that way. They go from 2 hours every day. Some just need 2 hours every day, even it seems like for the long term, while others are, once they feel really good, their depression and their migraines are gone, their energy is much better, and they'll tell me, I only need the VNS maybe 30 minutes a couple times a week instead of the 2 hours every day. And so either the parasympathetic branch of the autonomic nervous system, which regulates your inflammation, or the vagus nerve itself have recovered enough that that system is able to regulate inflammation better on its own. So I see that in adults. I won't be surprised if we have these kids where I've used VNS, they're recovering very nicely, they're reaching neurotypical state. I think the first thing you would try to stop is the vagus nerve stimulation. I won't be surprised if a large portion of them don't need it anymore. Meaning, once you get there and you stop, they hold their gains, you don't see anything negative happening, and so forth. So fish oil, olive oil forever, something to balance the gut, like rifaximin monthly, until science figures out how to make it not happen anymore. And then I see vagal stimulation in the kids, at least a good portion of them being a temporary type of a treatment in the long run. So I hope that helps kind of just answer some questions about the long-term kind of vision of how this whole thing unfolds. And again, I'm Dr. Nemechek of the Nemechek Navigator. Have a great day. Bye.